things that happen when you declutter your space. Welcome to this reset button. I'm Jane, joined by Kendra. Hey, Kendra.
Hey, everybody. How are you today?
We've been talking about this topic in several different places, how decluttering can help reset everything in your life, your mindset. It can help you overcome past trauma, addiction. Everything in your environment is a trigger for some sort of a thought or pattern, right, Kendra?
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but I have things in my environment right now that I'm planning on clearing out because they do bring up memories and emotions of a time in my past that wasn't so great. So you can kind of look around your environment and identify things that are not giving you that warm, comfy feel, or if they're giving you a negative feeling. It's time to assess that and take a look at that.
Yeah. And one thing that we were talking about is sometimes we hold on to things out of guilt because a family member has told us how important this thing is. And it's very important that you understand that if someone gives you something, it now is 100% yours. And the meaning that it has now is 100% on you. Their opinions about it belong to them. They don't have to be your opinions. They don't have to be your connection. So for example, if something was very important to my mother and I received it after her death, my holding on to it, even though I don't love it, doesn't benefit me. What it does is it brings me down and it prevents me from having the opportunity for a better life within my space. Simply because I love my mother doesn't mean that I have to love this thing that she cared about.
Yeah, absolutely. The other point is if you are making a new life for yourself, and I'll give you an example in just a second, and you have things in your environment that is preventing you from doing that, then it's time to take a look at those things and release yourself from those things so that they can go on to some other owner so that you can move on in your life. I'll give you an example. So my plan with my partner is to be able to hop in a van, a nice van, and travel for 2 years. In order to do that, we need to release a lot of things in our environment in order to do that, right? I'm not going to pay storage for 2 years on some things that I have here in my home currently. So now is the time for me to release any feelings that I have about those items and pass them on to daughters or family members that would want these things,
Or the goodwill,
or the
a
goodwill.
charity.
Yeah, in order for me to be able to create the life that I want moving forward. So there's another good example
Yeah.
of just decluttering so that you can move on and live the life that's something that we really want to do. And if I hold on to this stuff, I'm going to use that as an excuse for not moving on in my life and doing the things that I really want to do.
Absolutely. So there's 6 primary things that decluttering does, and you might have to get over some sentimental connections or emotional connections. And we're not saying get rid of all your family heirlooms, but if it's not serving you, then it does need to pass on. You need to allow that to pass on and be a benefit to someone else who won't have that negative energy with it. So the first thing that decluttering does for us is it actually gives us confidence. And I love this one, Kendra, because with more confidence, we are being true to our authentic self. So you're getting rid of those things. Isn't it making you feel more confident and empowered?
It absolutely does. It's hard to describe, but it opens up a whole new world. And that's exciting. And it gives me confidence that I have control of my own life and I'm not letting things in my life control my destiny or my life. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so it does give me confidence to be able to move forward and do the things that I want to do.
Yeah, the second thing that decluttering really does, and it kind of piggybacks on that one, but it's energizing. I've recently gone through a huge allowing of things to pass, and I've taken pictures of rooms and told Kendra, wow, my house feels bigger, and I've gotten rid of some really big things and some heirloom items. But the more space that I've made for us to live and breathe, the more energy, the more positive the energy is in my own home. And that also helps to boost your confidence. So those two things really do kind of pair together. And it sounds like, Kendra, it's the same story for you.
Same exact thing. If you've ever walked into a relative's house or a person, if you walked in and they have, they're a hoarder or they have a lot of things, the house is cluttery, take a really pay attention to the feeling that you're getting from the environment that you're in. And that's what happens, is it makes us feel stifled. And once you get rid of that stuff and open up your heart and open up a space for you to be able to breathe and live, it makes such a big difference. And talk about excitement. I was on a phone call with Jane. We were doing business on a phone call, and she was on her way to give away some bags of books. And gosh, Jane, you were super excited about that. She was on the phone.
So many books and so many different topics. And I really love the nonprofit that I was donating them to. And just feeling the way that it cleaned out my house, just shelves and shelves of books that we weren't going to read again. And it just felt good.
And I think the other thing too is that someone else is going to be able to enjoy all those books. So they were sitting in your house, you weren't reading them, they were taking up room. It wasn't a good feeling, it was cluttery. Now they can go to somebody who's going to read them and enjoy them. And so that's just makes it so much better.
Yeah. And some of those shelves where they used to just be, wall-to-wall books, now there's a little thing that we love sitting in that space. Instead of having it just be all jam-packed, there's space. And something that does, number 3, the third change that will happen for you when you declutter your space, your anxiety will be lower. It's true that when we are in cluttered spaces, our anxiety raises. And the reason for that is that we need space to move and we need space to think and breathe. And when we're in cluttered spaces, it literally stifles our spirit. It stifles our psychic energy. It stifles our physical energy. And all of that stifling raises our anxiety level, because that's not our true space of flow. It's not where our mindset belongs. So, Kendra, as you're releasing things from your environment, do you find yourself more relaxed?
Oh my gosh. So I have something that I'm releasing today. I'll show it to you just because, and it may seem like a little thing, it's falling apart. So that's one of the reasons, but the biggest reason that I thought of releasing this is that this is from a past relationship where I lived. It's been over almost 2.5 years since I've even lived there, but I've hung on to this. It's in my living room. And every time I walk by it, I look at it, and the anxiety that I'm feeling because it's attached to a past relationship is taking up space in my own heart and soul. So already I'm looking over there where I had it sitting, and I already feel 100% better knowing that this is going to be gone and not in my home anymore. And I don't have to walk by and look at it and feel that same feeling of anxiousness because it's from I'm attached to some of the feelings that were involved with this.
Well, and I love that you bring that up, because that's actually point number 4, mind control. Your mind is yours. And when when Kendra left the place where she pulled those flowers to dry them, to keep them, she still needed, it was kind of a security blanket, wasn't it? From leaving the place. It was, you weren't finished processing all the energy from that place. And so you wanted to bring something with you as a comfort item. Well, when your energy does process through all of that and you are ready to move on, yet that comfort item is still there, it becomes quite the opposite. It becomes a discomfort item. And then the person, people, or situations that it represented, instead of being comforting, ends up drawing you down. And so those outdated people, patterns, situations begin ruling your life and limiting you from where you can go. So if you want to be in control of your own mind, let these thoughts and beliefs and patterns and memories, active memories of past situations, leave, and you can let them leave with the things as you're passing them on to their next destination. You don't just have to toss them in the wastebasket. Don't just toss them in the bin. Send them off with joy, donate, or I suggested to Kendra with those dried flowers, burn them, allow them to return to the earth in the same way that the earth gave them to you, and go ahead and in full circle finish that energy.
Yeah, it's so true. That is 100% exactly what happened. It came from a tree that I actually planted when it was a young tree, and it's now a big, beautiful hydrangea tree. And when I left that place, my old home, I wanted to take the tree with me, but I couldn't. So I brought these with me, and it was, like you said, it was the comfort thing. I wasn't ready to release that. Now that I've done some work and am able to release those emotions, now I can get rid of these in a good way and say, thank you, tree, for bringing me all of that joy and comfort that you did. And it's okay that I don't have this anymore. It's okay. Now I can allow new things to come to me as well.
And that brings us to number 5. When you declutter your space, your relationships get better. And the reason that your relationships get better is that you have more mental and emotional space to invest in them, simply because your physical environment is reflecting what's going on in your mind. So that particular example, Kendra, is wonderful for this, because you are in an incredible, wonderful relationship with someone, mutually respectful. You guys are so in love, and it's wonderful to watch you. But that particular, those flowers are a tie to a past relationship. And so I'm very interested, after you return them to the earth today, I'm interested to see what blossoms in your relationship with David.
Yeah, and it's true. If I still hung on to these and with those emotions, it's really blocking my communication with my new partner. It really is. It's not allowing me to be fully open and be myself, because I have this sitting in my home looking at it. I mean, it's literally in the main area. And now, once I return this to the earth, I'm able to maybe collect something or get something that means something to both David and I and our relationship, and replace this with it, something that means something to my life now. So
absolutely. And this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. You can get rid of things or allow them to pass on, and it can increase your family connections. And that actually brings us to the 6th huge change that happens when you declutter your space. You actually are able to have a deeper connection. So a lot of people will say, I have this thing, just trying to grab a thing, my glasses. I have this thing, these glasses belong to my great grandmother. And so I keep them on this shelf to remind me of all the hard work that she did that helped bring my family to this country or whatever. Okay, well, if it's really just a thing and you don't love them, but you love what the representation is, holding on to the physical thing is actually a block between you and the deeper spiritual connection. So if you really want to be connected to the story behind the thing, release the thing, because that thing isn't your connection. It's the energy that is your connection.
yeah.
So everything gets better. Everything gets better, more confidence, more energy, lower stress. You're in control of your mind. Your relationships get better. And then you're able to reach that space of a deeper spiritual and energetic connection.
And allow the things that the universe has to deliver to you to come to you, because you've cleaned out, you've decluttered, you've opened up a space for the new things that do serve you to come to you. So that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And ask yourself why you're holding on to certain things.
Yeah.
Really, truly. And that's kind of a hard question. It's a hard question. And, that's really where we come in a lot of the times, because sometimes our clients and our mentees won't know, I don't know why I'm holding on to this. It doesn't make me feel good, but I feel like I have to keep it. We'll get in there and we'll dig deep and we'll figure it out. So if you're interested in exploring that, take one of our complimentary breakthrough sessions, or I think actually now we've actually put a small charge on them, $25 or something. So that, because of no-show rates, but low cost, definitely not the cost of sessions. But explore it with us and see if we can help create more space for happiness and health, wealth, and abundance in your life.
I think you'll find that it'll make a big difference, particularly as you're planning 2021 or the new year coming up. In the light of what has gone on this year, it's time to start afresh. It's time to declutter. It's time to get rid of things that are no longer serving you, so that we can move forward, and create the life that you really want to create.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you, Kendra, for being here. Thank you for watching. If this video has been of use to you, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so that you know when our next reset button video drops, and any of our other videos to help you live a life with more happiness, lower stress, and more success.